Welcome to the Mindset Chick podcast. If you are looking to stop settling and want to gain the clarity and confidence to manifest the life and biz of your dreams, then this show is for you. I'm your host, Kristi 𝘸𝘸𝘠, sharing with you simple yet powerful and effective mindset tips that will allow you to attract more abundance, prosperity, and success into your life. So get ready, get excited, and let's go manifest some amazing things together. Welcome back to the Mindset Chick podcast. I'm so happy to have you here with me today. And today I have a special guest, and I'm so excited to have her on here with us. Okay, I've known Amy for a while now. I actually met her at a speaking event and got to know her through the online coaching industry. And Amy is not only beautiful on the outside, but beautiful on the inside. She is just an amazing person. And I'm so happy to have her here with us today, talking more about tapping. And like I was talking about in the last episode, tapping and how it works. And I was kind of giving you like a little dive into it. Well, we're going to dive a lot deeper into tapping today. So I'm going to introduce Amy. Amy is a marriage and family therapist turned transformation coach for high-achieving female entrepreneurs. She is an expert at helping her clients process and release negative emotions by guiding them through various modalities such as emotional freedom technique. Her mission is helping women heal their emotions so that they can make more money without sacrificing their sanity or self-care. She has created a unique framework within her coaching practice where she's able to help her clients with their energy, mindset, and presence. Working with these three pillars helps facilitate a long-lasting change in the key areas of life. So welcome, Amy, to the Mindset Chick podcast.
Thank you so much. Thank you for that wonderful introduction. I had like goosebumps listening to you speak. I'm so excited to be here.
I'm excited that you're here. And you know what, guys? Amy McNally is joining us all the way from Hawaii.
Maui, Hawaii. Yes.
It's amazing. And I can't wait I want to go there next year. I've been talking to you about that. I cannot wait, but beautiful Hawaii. So I bet it's just gorgeous there.
It is. It's paradise. There's a reason that people call it paradise. And I feel honored and blessed to be living here in this chapter of my life.
Well, so last episode, I was just sharing about how tapping has really changed my life. When I started tapping, things started shifting for me. It allowed me to start, freeing up space, like clearing energy to free up space to manifest more of the things that I do want, right? And I swear by tapping, and I still do, tapping pretty much on a daily basis. And if I get out of that habit, I can totally feel it. So I wanted you, with your expertise and years of practice, to just really share more about what is EFT, what exactly it is.
Yeah, so EFT stands for Emotional Freedom Technique, which is a really long title. So you'll hear nicknames for it. EFT is commonly referred to. It's also known as tapping. And what it is, it's a technique that allows you to unblock and balance your body's energy system. And so I absolutely love it. My background is, as you mentioned, in therapy and being a marriage and family therapist. And so that's kind of where my journey with this modality began, because it can actually be used for such a wide variety of things. And it's like, I refer to it as like this magical secret that not many people know about, because it can be used for things like PTSD, which is post-traumatic stress disorder. So I use it a lot in this method with my therapy clients. It can be used for anxiety. It can be used to help heal and process not only emotions, but also limiting beliefs, right? Of like, I'm not good enough, or I can't do this. So it really, it allows you to go in and heal the things that you need need to heal, both emotional and physical, because a lot of people don't realize, I'm not sure if any of your listeners follow Louise Hay or her work at all, but she was a really big advocate that emotions can lead to dis-ease in our body and more specifically physical ailments, right? So this is a technique that really helps you. I like to think of it like all areas, all angles of your life, right? So, any negative emotions, any thoughts, any limiting beliefs, and even just like a stressful day, right? I mean, it's kind of a stressful time that we're living in, at the time of this recording in 2020. And a lot of people, their stress response is being triggered way more often than usual, right? So this is such a good technique that allows you to kind of be your own healer and really, like I said, to access your own body's energy system by using your hands to lightly tap on different areas of your body.
Yeah. I love that. You explained that so well. I love that. And I did talk a little bit about in the previous episodes about how emotions, are just stored thought energy and how they can stay stuck in our body unless we, shift that energy, unless we let that out. And it can cause, it's said to possibly cause, different ailments or aches or pains or things within our body. And like you said, Louise Hay talks about that. I love her books. Just really great. So yeah, I love that explanation. And I also talked about last episode how when I first started tapping, it felt kind of funny because, here I am like tapping on my head, tapping under my arm, tapping on my face, and, saying these positive phrases along with, phrases to release energy. So it might feel a little awkward at first,
I agree. I kind of had that same experience, right? Of like, oh my goodness, like this is really weird. Like this feels kind of uncomfortable. But here's what I want to say. For those of you who are trying it maybe for the first time or, who've never heard of it, the first time we do meditation, it's a little weird and uncomfortable, right? Mm-hmm. It's like, oh my gosh, I'm thinking about this and I'm thinking about that. And like my mind is racing. I mean, it's a practice, right? It's very hard to quiet our mind. And, another example, the first time we go to, let's say, the gym, and we're trying something new, whether it's lifting a weight or, doing a specific type of squat or lunge, like that doesn't feel comfortable at first. And it feels very awkward, right? It's like, oh, like we feel like a fish out of water, but it just feels awkward and uncomfortable. Honestly, I think just the first time or two, because it's new and our bodies aren't used to it. But now it's at a point, where not only myself, but my clients, they crave it. And they're like, I don't care what it looks like. I just know I feel so much better afterwards. So like, bring it on.
Yes, absolutely. And I tap in the car sometimes. So sometimes I come to a red light and I'm like, just kind of tapping at the same place on my face, but I'll tap in the car. And because I'm craving it, like you said, I'm like, yeah, I really want to tap. I really want to tap today because I know the benefits of that, the positive benefits. And I feel so much better. I feel so much lighter. I feel the energy shifting. And yeah, you're right. It becomes a habit and anything that you do gets easier and easier over time. So what would you say the most transformational story that you've ever seen come from tapping?
Oh my goodness. That's difficult to say, right? I feel like over the years, I've seen so many transformations. So I'll go with one that I experienced more recently with one of my clients. And we were working on some stuff around her father. So lots of emotions and just built up stuff that honestly, a lot of it stemmed from childhood. And she just had this really, really intense like anger and frustration mixed with like fear when it came to him. And so during our session, I was guiding her through some tapping and the tears just started flowing and didn't stop, which is a very good sign, by the way. It's a sign of release, right? It's a sign of our energy shifting. And once the tapping was completed, she was just like, I get goosebumps thinking about it because I can remember that moment so vividly, but she's like, I feel so much love towards my father now. And she was like, just so much compassion and empathy. And so for me to witness that in real time of somebody who started the session of like I said, just anger and frustration and just really strong emotions towards him. And within one session, so not even an hour, she shifted into like, I love him so much. And he was doing the best he could. And for me, yeah, it's nice to use it to manifest things. Don't get me wrong. And I've done that in my personal life, but to see somebody transform the way that they feel about a loved one, like it doesn't get much better than that. Like, cause that's like a lasting relationship, right? Like that's something that like is priceless. So for me, I would have to say that's one of many, but one of the most recent amazing transformations I've gotten to witness.
Wow. That's beautiful. And in one session, that's how fast it can work.
That's honestly one of the reasons I love this technique so much. And I'm sure you touched on it in other podcasts, but it is so quick and it is so effective. And for me, the reason I'm a science girl, so like I don't like to do stuff unless there's like some science behind it, right? Like I'm not, just gonna do these weird things unless I know like it's actually effective. And there have been studies done around this modality where it's actually more effective at reducing stress than therapy is.
Yeah, wow.
I know. And so for me,
that's incredible. And not only releasing stress, but like carrying around those emotions. Like, I talked about that in one of the podcasts, and we were talking about 𝘍𝘢𝘴𝘵𝘠, the Hawaiian, tradition of cleansing and like forgiving and releasing and, shifting energy. It just makes you, you feel better. Like you can be carrying around without even knowing it, like all these emotions and this heaviness of emotions. And when you start shifting the energy, through modalities like that, and then the tapping happening like that fast, like you could just feel lighter. And what so many people don't realize is that when you're carrying around like that energy and that lower vibration, frequency and that energy, but you're wanting to manifest something at a different frequency, like more abundance, more joy, more income, it's, practically impossible to do unless you shift that energy and unless you let go what's no longer serving you, right?
Yes. Oh, this is like one of my favorite topics ever. And I think it's like one of the things I end up talking about the most and teaching my clients, because emotions like joy and freedom and love and appreciation, those ones specifically are actually the absolute highest vibration that we can have, right? And for those of you who are new to manifesting, just short version is that you're going to attract the energy that you're in. Right. So if you're in this state of appreciation and love and joy, you're going to attract other things. Right. And typically these are the things that we all desire, right? More money, more success, more love, more freedom. But we're not a match for that. So a lot of people, not everybody, but a lot of people are living in the land of like disappointment and doubt and worry and discouragement. Right. And what they don't realize is that that's the energy that they're sending out. So what they're going to get back is more things that are going to cause them to be disappointed and worried and discouraged. So tapping really, for me, it's one of a few things, but it's one of the biggest things to bridge that gap of like, hey, let's let go of this disappointment and this worry and work our way up towards the higher vibrations like joy and gratitude.
Yeah, I love that. So true. And I'm glad you shared that. It's absolutely incredible. And you're helping so many people. And don't you just love that, being able to just connect with so many people and help them shift and let go, and just to manifest more of what they want or just feel better, right?
Yeah, it's the best feeling ever. And it's one of those things where you just don't get tired of it. I mean, I'm 5 years in the coaching world, and you would think that, the newness would wear off, or like the excited, texts or messages about things that they manifested or things that they were able to do. Like It truly drives me. And it's the thing that keeps me going, because it's this is why I'm doing this, right? To help other people. And, a lot of people ask me, like, why did you get out of therapy? Like, why did you start doing coaching? And honestly and truly, the reason I did it was because it allowed me to help people, but to help them in the way that felt good to me, right? So like, with insurance, like with therapy, you have to be really careful about like the modalities that you're using and like what you're sending off and billing to insurance. And it's like, there were so many hoops to jump through and so many restrictions, where it's like coaching opened that up, right? I can do things like tapping freely with my clients and they love it. And I don't have to worry about trying to explain that to like an insurance company or, making sure that they'll cover the bill for that. And it's such a beautiful profession to be in if you enjoy helping others.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that. And like you said, it can work so much faster than some of the other techniques out there. So what has this done for you? What has tapping done for you personally?
Yeah. So it's honestly, I feel like I owe so much appreciation and gratitude to this technique specifically. It's helped me in a lot of areas of my life. I think one of the most prominent truly is helping me rewire like my money mindset and my beliefs around money. A lot of us have experiences with money growing up, right? Maybe you weren't taught about money, or maybe you didn't have enough money, or maybe you were on food stamps, right? Like there's such a wide range. And for me, as I, became an adult and realized that I wanted more success and I wanted more freedom, I was still trapped in this old paradigm of the way that I grew up and the way that, I was raised and taught. And so I really have used tapping extensively to, reprogram, first of all, to let go of, the things I thought and felt about money, and then to reprogram of like, what do I want to have my relationship be with money? What do I want that to look like? And so for me, that's been absolutely like fundamental. And then also just like managing daily stress and overwhelm and, sometimes anxiety, right? Like life can be hard. There can be, sometimes I look at my to-do list for the day and I'm like, okay, that's a lot. Like, let me go do some tapping so that I can come at this calmer and more ready to, tackle the things I need to do. So it's truly helped me, like I said, just in so many areas, the money, the daily stress, the daily, overwhelm, but also like empowering myself to be like, you got this. Like, it takes away that overwhelm and doubt, and it instills it with like, you can do this. You are amazing. You go, girl. Like, do what you got to do.
I love it. I love it. And when I started out doing tapping, it was really around a lot of money trauma for myself, money beliefs. And I really wanted to let go of that and create a new story and create, like you said, rewire my brain to believe that it was possible for me to manifest the money that I wanted to, possible for me to get out of debt, possible for me to have the business that I wanted. And so I did, a lot of tapping around money and releasing old stories about money that I didn't even know I had. So like I would start tapping and the tears would come up, and then I'd start feeling like these emotions like triggered, like, angry, like, why did that have to happen to me? And I'm like, okay, girl, like, okay, Kristi, that's why you need to keep tapping. You've got to let that out. That's in you. And you've got to let that out if you really want to believe that it's possible, for you to have the income and success you desire. You've got to let go of those old stories, or you've got to let go of the resentment towards yourself or others about maybe feeling broke and feeling like it wasn't possible for so many years. And that's what I was doing tapping a lot of. And I love to do tapping. I'll still do tapping around money. I also love to do it around like feeling you've already achieved your goals, like stepping into it, like, what you wants you, like getting on that same vibrational set point, like clearing the belief that it doesn't want me, and, getting on that vibrational set point in the same frequency that, yes, it does want me. That goal wants me. And here I am that goal. The goal is me, and so, and it feels so much better afterwards.
Oh my gosh, I love this so much. And, I didn't really get into it because honestly and truthfully, it's not always the most interesting thing. But a lot of people don't realize that tapping is first of all, it's sending calming signals to your brain and to your nervous system. Okay. And so we cannot manifest abundance, right? Freedom, success, the business, the whatever that looks like for you. You cannot manifest when your nervous system is stressed, when your nervous system is compromised. So just the simple act of tapping, not only is it going to send calming signals to your brain, quiet the nervous system, which that in itself, you're going to be more aligned to manifest, but also it increases our endorphins, which is the feel-good hormone. So, I'm not saying that this is me, but I know you, Kristi, are very into like working out and, being in the gym and doing stuff like that. And, people talk about like the runner's high, just like, oh, how good you feel after you work out. And tapping actually allows you to access that. So I know Kristi and I both have mentioned like, oh, we cried, while tapping. And I don't want that to scare anybody who, might be considering trying this technique because they might think like, oh, well, gosh, I don't want to go cry. I want to say every tapping session is different and it depends on what you're tapping on, right? So like if you're doing some really deep-seated trauma or some inner work, again, around parents, around old paradigms, old stories, yeah, that can get a little emotional for sure. But I love, Kristi, that you mentioned this other side of it where it's like, I am going to use this technique to like manifest, right? To visualize myself, to step into that woman that I want to be or that man or that person or whatever. And so it's like, it really can be used for both sides. It can be used to release things that no longer serve you, but it can also be used to instill new beliefs, new thoughts, new programming, new stories. And that's a really fun place to be in.
Yes. I love that. I love that. So why would you, I think you've talked a lot about this. I mean, talked about how great tapping is and how, much help it can be for so many people on so many levels. So, but why would you recommend this to others?
I would recommend this to others because I think we are finally at a point where we are more open and receptive to healing modalities. And so if you're someone who honestly, truly, like if you can sit here right now and answer the question, what is bothering me? Right in this moment, if you just sit and think about that for a minute, and if there's something that comes up, this is going to be a great technique for you. And honestly, like, could you go to therapy? Yes. Could you, do all these other things and journal and meditate and work out? Yeah, absolutely. But the thing about tapping is that it can be so quick and so effective. I've had clients have results in 5 minutes and 10 minutes. So if you're someone who has something that's A, currently bothering them, and B, you're short on time, or you don't want to go sit and meditate and you don't want to go sit and journal, but you still want to feel better, it's great for that, right? Or C, if you just want to feel better, right? And you don't even know what to say or what to really tap on. You just want to, release some of those endorphins. It's going to help you feel better. And that's my goal in life, is to help more people feel better.
Love that. And you do such a great job of that. And you gave us so many good nuggets. Like I want to go tap right now. I'm ready to go tap because I know how much it helps. But just hearing you talk about it even more, it's like, I want to, right after the Zoom, I'm like, I'm going to go tap. I'm going to go tap some more and just feel good, whatever that's for, but just feel better. Just lift my endorphins. Like, you got me excited about it.
Yeah, my job for today is done.
Yes, it is. So that's so exciting. Thank you so much for coming on here and sharing your golden nuggets with all of us. And I hope everyone who's listening is excited to try tapping. Even, if you're new to it and you're not really sure and you're still trying to figure it out, just try it. That's how I was before. I was like, you know what? I'm seeing so many people doing this. I'm hearing so many success stories. I'm reading these books, about self-development, and almost everyone was talking about, doing tapping and how it was shifting things for them. And I thought, why not? Why not just try it? And it literally has changed my life. So I would encourage you guys to just try it. And Amy has some great videos and some, great way to connect with her. I'll let her share that. But, if you're new to tapping or you want to, follow along and learn what to say while you're tapping. So Amy, how could people connect with you more?
Yeah, so I actually have a free Facebook group, and it's called the Joyful Entrepreneur. In that group, I actually have an entire tapping archive. So again, everything in there is free, and I have it all bundled up nicely. So tapping is very visual, especially when you're new to it. I think there's 9 different points on our body that we're tapping on, and we're doing it in a specific order. I don't say that to overwhelm you, but it's just you kind of want to see it in action a few times before maybe you go on and try it yourself. Or I know some people who only really feel comfortable, doing it while being guided. So in the group, I have free tapping videos on everything from like money mindset to stepping into the next level version of you and, releasing the overwhelm and the doubt, a lot of the things that we talked about today. So if you're like, just kind of curious or maybe even, want to see what it looks like, or if you're like, okay, I need this, let's go. Like I'm ready to do some tapping, just ask to join that group. I will accept you. And then within there, you'll be able to see all the resources that are available to you. And you can also email me too. So my email is really easy. It's Coach Amy McNally at gmail.com. So it's just coach and then my first name and last name at gmail.com. And if you want to talk about it, or if you have more questions about it, I have a ton of resources I would be happy to send over, or maybe if you want to have a session yourself and see what that looks like, I'm available and ready and willing to help you.
Love that. Thank you, Amy. And so the Joyful Entrepreneur, I'm actually in there too, and you have some amazing nuggets and great information and great tapping videos. So thank you for sharing that. And thank you guys for joining us today. And be sure to join us next week when we continue to talk about shifting our energy, clearing what no longer serves us, so that we can make space for what we desire to manifest in our lives. And remember, friend, to dream big, follow your heart, and never give up on you, because you're worth it. Thank you for joining me today on the Mindset Chick podcast. I hope this show has you waking up every morning excited about the new manifestations you have created in your life. And if you would honor me with a 5-star review over in iTunes, I will happily enter your name in my Mindset Chick swag giveaway. Make sure you add your name to the review, and I will reach out to you if you're the winner. I really appreciate you spending your time with me. Be sure to visit me at mindsetchick.com for past episodes and more gifts that will help you to manifest your dreams into reality.